Hey guys, so today we have an analysis of the polling data that we've been getting from Wednesday the 31st of October. Obviously that is Halloween if you do celebrate it. If not, that's okay. It's really up to you whether you want to celebrate that. But we have a ridiculous amount of polling to get to today. So, excuse me, I have quite a bit of a cough right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just spend about 20 seconds on each race. I don't have time to do it in two separate videos, but so we're going to start off in the Arizona Senate race between Kristen Sinema and Martha McSally. We have two polls coming out, one that shows a tie, the other shows Sinema leading by 4. Pretty good news for Kristen Sinema to be leading by 3, then by 6, then by 4. Can't really complain about that. The CNN poll shows her leading by 4. Fox News shows a tie. I think this is definitely a tilt Democratic race. Until we get some more data from that race. In the Nevada Senate race, it looked like Jackie Rosen was almost done for in this race, but a new CNN poll comes out showing Jackie Rosen leading by 3. That's pretty good news because she was losing by 7, and that's mainly because her supporters are coming back, 41 to 48, whereas Dean Heller went from 48 to 45, not really doing anything, but then Jackie Rosen is gaining. So overall, pretty good news for Jackie Rosen. We'll need to wait for some more data to come out before I move it into either party's column. Right now I have it as a pure toss-up. Next we have the Missouri Senate race, and it is literally almost always a tie. Seriously, look. One time we had 4 consecutive ties in a row, and it's always within the margin of error. It's just so close that it's very difficult to make a prediction on. And now that we have a tied poll, I do want to keep it in the tilt Republican column just because the poll before it that had Hawley up 4. If we get a few more ties, I'll move it back into the Democratic column. Next, we have the Tennessee Senate race, which is just looking bleaker and bleaker for Phil Bredesen every passing day. It's gone from Blackburn plus 8, 14, Bredesen plus 1, Blackburn plus 5, Blackburn plus 9. You would definitely lean it over to the GOP in this leaning GOP race. So, plus 5 and plus 9, pretty good news for Blackburn going against a former governor with a 66% approval rating. But now, again, his approval rating has skydived because of the drag from the Democratic Party in the state of Tennessee on his campaign. So 2 polls there, plus 5 from NBC News, then plus 9 from the Fox News. Next, we're going to go over to the state of Indiana, where we had almost consistently gotten broad leads, and I was starting to question whether I should put it in the tilt Democratic column. But now we have a poll showing the Democratic incumbent leading by 7, so that averages out to Donnelly up 1 in the average, and I'm going to keep it in the tilt Democratic column. Yeah. Next, we have the North Dakota Senate race between Kevin Cramer and Heidi Heitkamp. Finally, the information is starting to speed up, and it's not good news for Heidi Heitkamp at all. Fox News showing Kevin Cramer leading by 9%. I'm keeping it in the likely Republican column. We have Michigan and Wisconsin Senate races. Both Democratic incumbents lead. In Michigan, again, I was starting to question whether Debbie Stabenow was really leading by 6, 9, and 7, but now she seemed to have regained her lead. Those polls could have been outliers, or I really don't know what went on there. So we had a Gravis poll done. Gravis showing Debbie Stabenow leading by 13, and I'm keeping it in the likely Democratic column. Next, we have the Wisconsin Senate race between Leah Vukami and Tammy Baldwin. Baldwin has now consistently led by double digits, and I'm keeping it in the likely Democratic column. Next, we have, I can go down, the Connecticut Senate race. This is not one that I want to spend too much time on. I don't know why we're getting so much information from this race. We've gotten 2 polls in the last 3 days. I just don't see why they need to do that, because it is a safe Democratic seat. Next, we have the California Senate race between Kevin DeLeon and Dianne Feinstein. This poll was done by Berkeley IGS. The Democratic incumbent is only leading by 9. Not great news for her, but still, at the end of the day, you can expect this one to go to Dianne Feinstein. If Kevin DeLeon pulls off this upset, that's going to be pretty impressive for progressives. I think he's a progressive. I don't really know, but anyway, either way, a Democrat's going to win there. We'll finish off with Maine and Massachusetts, both of which I don't want to spend too long on because they're going to go to the independents in the state of Maine. King leading by 13 in a New Emerson poll. That shouldn't be a surprise. I don't know why they don't include the Democratic candidate here, because there is a Democratic candidate here. I don't know why they don't include him, but anyway, King plus 13. Can't argue with that. That's a good thing. I don't know why we're getting so much information from Massachusetts. It's really just a safe Democratic seat, so I don't want to spend any time on it. So now we've covered all the Senate races, and I quite like how my map is looking now. I feel it really represents where we are at this point in time. I mean, Indiana, you could say that's leaning Democratic, but because of Kavanaugh and all that, I'm putting it in tilt Democratic. Could argue with Tennessee, saying it's likely Republican. Last few polls have shown that, but I think Phil Bredesen, with that former governor, he has a chance, but not a big chance. Texas, lean Republican, pretty much. Nevada, some people could say it goes to the Democrats given the new poll, but I still want to be cautious. I don't want to have one poll change, like if going from safe Republican to safe Democratic. I don't want that to happen, especially if it's just a small lead. Talking of a small lead, look at the Wisconsin governor race. It is now tied between Tony Evers and Scott Walker. Evers was leading, but now it seems to be a tie, which is a bit of a sigh of relief for Republicans. I'm moving it from lean Democratic to tilt Democratic, given the last 2 polls have not shown the Democrat there ahead. In the same group of voters that showed Jackie Rosen leading by 3, they also shows Steve Sisolak up by 1, 45 to 46. Given this new poll, I kind of want to move it into the pure toss-up column, like with the Senate race, because I feel like they both have like the same bases, Sisolak and Laxalt. Sorry, Sisolak and Rosen, and then same thing for Laxalt and Hiller. In Arizona, we have the governor's race between Doug Ducey and David Garcia. This is probably going to go to the Republicans. CNN showing Doug Ducey leading by 7, and then Fox News leading by 18. That's a pretty good sign. I'm keeping it in the likely Republican column. Next we have the Nevada governor race again, but this time with an independent. It shows the exact same results. Sisolak plus 1. I don't really want to cover that because we already did. In Alaska, Mike Dunleavy versus Mark Begich. Bill Walker not in the race now. Dunleavy only leading by 1. I want to keep it in the tilt Republican column in the governor's map. In the state of Oregon, between Kate Brown and Newt Bueller, this was done by a Republican poll, and Brown is leading by 3. That's good news for her. In Oklahoma, between Kevin Stitt and Drew Edmondson. Stitt leads by 4. You would definitely lean it over towards the GOP. 2 Tennessee polls, one both show actually Republican Bill Lee leading by 17. Nice to have some consistent data from that state, even though one was done by Fox and one was done by NBC News. Now, let's go over the Connecticut governor race between Bob Stefanowski and Ned Lamont. I think Ned Lamont is going to win this one, likely Democratic. Let's finish off with New Hampshire, almost finished. Chris Sununu versus Molly Kelly. Sununu leading by 8. That's pretty good news for Chris Sununu in a Democratic state from 2016. 3 more ones to go. Only one is competitive. That is the main governor race. Janet Mills consistently leading by 8. That's pretty good news for the Democrats going into this one. In California, Gavin Newsom is leading by 20 in the latest Gravers poll. Again, pretty good news for the Democrats, and I don't want to go over that because that's going to go to the Republicans. Either way, we have a few congressional districts, so we've just finished all the governor's polls. A few congressional districts to get to. Kansas seconds the day after. It shows the Republican leading by 7. It shows the Democrat leading by 4. And because of that, it's just a pure toss-up race. I'm moving it back into the leaning Democratic column from the tilt Democratic column. In the state of Maine, the 2nd district, probably the most competitive, Jared Golden versus Bruce Poliquin. I don't know how to say that name, by the way, so sorry. Golden leading by 1. This is a dead heat. Last polls show a tie, but the voters seem to be increasing on both sides. So again, pretty good news there. Also, Maine actually uses ranked choice voting, so they can put like their favorite candidate at number 1 and then their second favorite at number 2. I won't go over how it works here, but you know, Harris leading by 1 in North Carolina 9, pretty good news. And now we have 3 more polls. I'm not covering the national polls because this video is dragging on a little bit too long. There's so much data. New Hampshire first, Edwards versus Papas. This is probably going to go to the Democrats at the end of the day. Same thing in the 2nd district, and in New Jersey 7. This could go to the Democrats. If we go on to our 2018 House map in New Jersey 7. Sorry, let me just go down to the state of New Jersey. 7th Congressional District. Yeah, I have this going towards the Democrats. Actually, I will briefly cover the national polls. Trump approval, congressional ballot, congressional job approval, and direction of the country. Let's start off with Trump's approval. Underwater by 8 according to The Economist. That's probably the most reliable. I would probably trust them the most. Underwater by 1 according to Rasmussen. Gallup, again, underestimating the president a little bit there. In the 2018 generic congressional vote, Dems +5, +7, +3, +10. It's interesting. The +3 is also Trump underwater by 3. That's interesting. Just to note, congressional job approval, always bad. Nothing really to say there. 19% approval rating. Direction of the country, always wrong track. Nothing really to see there. So that was a lot of data. I'm sorry that I had to go through each race very, very quickly because there was just so much data to get through. So if your state only got covered just like 10 or 20 seconds, I'm sorry, but I need to give every poll just a little bit of time so that I can cover them all because that was a really long video. So thank you guys for watching this long video. Comment down suggestions below and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.